was there. I saw a bunch of people that were not necessarily on this year's set, and we rotate. So there's always the opportunity to be on InvestFest, but even that, it's just, I thought it was dope to just see a lot of people come, support, and just connect with their audience, because they have supporters and they have people that follow them that, are excited to see them in person. So shout out to all of the creators, and shout out to everybody that didn't come. If you didn't come, you probably.
No, what he was gonna say is that you can get the replay.
Great scream, boy.
That's
boy going downhill scream.
Yes, of course. Thank you. Sometimes you work together so long, you finish each other's sentences. So,
got you. Partnership, real time. Yes.
Yeah.
Now, Blackout, hey, my boy, I'm with you. Let me get my energy up. Let me give you a little bit. But Blackout.
Thank you. Yeah. We appreciate y'all. Yep.
Yes. We're going to remain dignified. I'm going to be on Michelle Obama about when they go low, we go nuclear. What she say? I said,
do something.
Michelle ain't playing no more. Okay.
Do something. Okay.
Yeah.
Far from over.
Oh, but here's a good lesson. If you were not able to present at InvestFest or you were not able to participate, I would write my presentation now and send it in. Now that there's some downtime, put some fire together. Don't wait till next July. It's too late. Yeah. I would do it now.
The work is happening now.
Absolutely.
The work is happening now.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy to think about, but yeah, it's happening now.
Yeah.
Facts.
I'll come in on an elephant next year, yo. I'll do what tigers and stuff. Ooh. Come on. Come on.
All right.
You gonna put a master class together, or y'all like how y'all put your outfits together? I'm so glad I prepared, because boy, y'all. And Steve, Ellie, what's up? I saw the replay. I said Steve had on a gator jacket, yo.
With the boots.
That was different.
His jacket with the boots.
Yeah, and he's been. I mean, every time we see him, he just looks more healthier. But this time, I feel like he might have lost a little bit more weight, man.
Yeah. Shout out to Jim. I saw Jim Jones yesterday. He had the Uchi bucket on. Have you been following that?
Of course, yeah. I told you, I thought that looked like
he got a new one, or the same black one he had bought from the
Nah, it was tan. It was tan.
Oh, that's a new one. That's a new one.
He had the Uchi. He had the Uchi bucket on. But
the first one was black.
You know what I respect about that? Because he's making a statement, actually. He's kind of making a statement with this. Like, he's showing y'all, like, yo, it don't even matter. Like, y'all made a mockery of this high fashion so much. Fuck it, I'm just buy a bootleg shit from Canal. And y'all not going to say nothing, and I'm going to rock it, and it's going to be all good. And then it's like, and like, I seen him with it on. And because he was fresh, he had like a polo rugby type thing. And he had the Uchi bucket. Somebody was like, yo, you got the Uchi? He was like, yo, you know it. And I'm like, you know what, man?
Jury phenomenal, too.
I mean, he's looking at it like he done did it so long. Like, what could you say to him? He done did this thing so long.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Told everybody, go get the little earrings from Claire's.
The Uchi bucket is crazy.
Yeah.
Shout out to Jim, man. The Uchi bucket. I seen that yesterday. I was dying. But yeah, man.
Man make the clothes don't make the man.
That's a fact.
It is.
That's an actual fact. Okay. So, concerns about NVIDIA, right? Should investors be concerned about NVIDIA's recent stock market performance? What are the keys, risks? And, this is interesting because it said this actually last week when we referenced Meta. When Meta they had very good earnings last quarter.
Yep.
And their stock dropped because of comments that the COO made, and the market just was a little pessimistic about the comments. It just disregarded the actual fundamentals. And if you haven't watched NVIDIA, they released their earnings last week, and it was positive. Actually, it wasn't bad, but it was a little bit of a disappointment for Wall Street, and as a result, the stock actually dropped. Even so, I'm saying stock can drop on positive earnings. And we said this on Monday, and that's exactly what happened on Wednesday. It dropped on positive earnings. So does this mean that the hype is just too much and that it is not? Sometimes in life you can't live up to the hype, right? It's like if you are, or if they're already saying you're the next Michael Jordan, even if you are a great player, you're still going to disappoint 9 times out of 10 because you're not Michael Jordan, right? And that's hard to live up to that type of hype. So is this NVIDIA's hype too much for it to actually, live up to?
No, I think it resets them back to reality. I think we all can agree when they said Blackwell was not going to be announced, that for sure is going to impact the market. I think if you continue to have exponential returns, you need to produce at an exponential level. But I do respect Jensen and the CFO for being honest and saying, hey, we won't be able to release it when we do. I think that'll push the stock up even higher, but I'm glad that they allowed them to reset to come back to a normal price. They bought back a lot of shares, so they're going to give up that lead? No. A lot of AMD has come down, Intel shambles. So they don't have a big competitive threat at the current moment. But I think if they would have announced that Blackwell was going to be released January, February, I think the reviews would have been out of here and the stock would have went up even more. But I respect a CEO, a CFO, a C-suite for being honest about what's going on in the company. And like you said, the revenue miss was slight. They still have a great competitive advantage. From a moat and competitive advantage standpoint, they don't have a nearest competitor. They're still really big in gaming. If Elon's dream of the auto taxi or autonomous taxi market becomes real, they're going to help lead that. So they're fine. It's like if you have one bad quarter in a basketball game, like I'm not trading Michael Jordan in the third quarter because he had 15 points instead of 28. So I think some of this was overhyped, but I'm glad. I can only imagine as a CEO, I'm glad they're back to a realistic expectation. So next quarter, they can over-deliver. But it's hard to over-deliver 8 quarters in a row.
Yeah. I think overhyped. I'm big on the overhyped sensation. When you talk about the numbers, it's kind of like what we were talking about last week. We were like, maybe not a grand slam, but a home run. So I think they still hit a home run. You're talking about revenue increase 122%.
That's like for a company of that size. Like we're not talking about
let me just say that number.
$100 million company. Like
let me just say the number again. The revenue increased 122% year over year, reaching 30 billion. Primarily on the data center segment, which brought in 26 billion. The growth is still growing in terms of Hopper and Blackwell. So the issue with Blackwell, which is the new GPU, not so much that it's a production issue, it's how it's being made. So it's more difficult than its predecessor. And so it's taking a little bit more time. But from what I listened to Jensen's call, like I actually listened to him, he's like, pretty much he's saying, y'all bugging. Like, I'm telling y'all this is coming, and I'm telling you why we're having delays.
The least fade I've ever heard. Yep.
Okay, fine.
Yep.
They also bought $50 billion worth of stock back. Like
that tells you how much they believe. Like if it was $2 billion or 1.5, I don't know. 50 is a lot, bro.
Yeah. So when you see a stock buyback like that, that means the company believes in obviously their investors. They believe in their future guidance, but they're also saying like we're taking shares back, and when there's less shares, obviously the stock price goes up. That didn't happen. Well, why didn't it happen? A couple of reasons, and we kind of alluded to it, was the idea of how long can they sustain it? Right? How long will the Metas, how long will the Apples and the Microsofts be willing to pay premium dollars for these chips? There's no answer to that because they haven't put them into use yet. We haven't seen if these CapEx expenditures are going to make sense for them long term. So I guess that's the pullback. But yeah, I think overhyped. If it's not Jordan, it's not at this point.
And the crazy part, like when they made the modification to be able to sell into China, like they have 9 mega buyers. Now if they go get Lilly or Lenovo or another big player in Europe, Daniel, I know you got all them Spotify bot farms. You probably want to tap into NVIDIA to help that go. I know the music industry got you by the cojones. But
So
if they
that's
get
like,
5 more if they're worth this at 9 mega buyers,
No, like,
and
we
we
don't
get
even
7
understand
more in
what
3
the
years
fuck just
with
happened
Blackwell,
now.
what is it
Pick
called?
that guy up, yo.
Woo!
Insane.
yeah, you think about that future
Yeah.
product. I mean, it hasn't happened
Everybody
yet, but
down?
that, I
Is
mean,
everybody
potentially
down?
more growth when you're
Absolutely.
Yeah,
talking
one more.
about
Go pick him
the
up, bro.
Chinese market.
I'll cover you.
And then they have some other segments,
Oh,
gaming. They saw
Yeah,
in
gaming.
RPG'd my ass.
autos
And then now
increase.
it's
So there's different pockets that they're actually seeing growth in. It was interesting, like you said. We
Don't pick the
were, I
guy
think it
that's
was the
screaming
last quarter
out,
when we
bro.
watched
We got
Meta
one
pull
more
back
teammate still
after just
alive, bro.
meeting every revenue model.
He over
This
there,
is
he
part
just
of
popped
it.
the
This is part
UAV.
of it. But like I said, either way, you're gonna look at Thursday and say, yes, I'm happy I'm in Nvidia, or
Nah, I
hey,
just
it
saw the
pulled back a
move
little
all
bit
by
more to a
myself,
point
bro.
where I can grab some more shares. I don't think you lose either way. When like is it I got a text, a couple of texts like, is this the low the vote number? And I'm like, nah. Somebody caught one of our gems when we were talking about it previously, when we called 107. They're like, well, what's the next target? And I was like, does it start with a 9? And that next target for me was 97. And obviously it hit there, but yeah, it goes down to 119, 117. Nothing we take over.
And the crazy part, they haven't even expanded to business to government or national education. Like, they have some big targets on the, like, once again, they have
Nah,
9
we still got a teammate
mega
alive, bro.
buyers.
Where your teammate at?
And if they add 3, that'll push him up into the 230s, 240. Like, yeah, I think you'll be on the wrong side of history to not be in favor of the stock over the.
Bro, you guys suck, bro.
I'll open this up to both of you guys
myself, bro.
and try to bring this out with you,
Sniping and everything.
just from an eye
Yeah, no more
standpoint
teammates
of
still
viewing
alive.
it. Is it working to his benefit, or will it work to his detriment to be the known CEO, right? Like, we know Tim Cook, we know Zuckerberg, and now Jensen is becoming one of those CEOs that we now
I was
know.
sniping y'all and everything.
Does that open it up for attacks?
Yeah, of course. It definitely opens up for attack, but it also could be beneficial as well. I mean, it worked for Elon Musk. It worked for Jeff Bezos.
Steve Jobs.
It worked for Steve Jobs. It's working for Tim Cook. It worked it's working for Sam Altman. So
Rockefeller, John D. Rockefeller. Like, if we go back to the history, James Pierpont Morgan, like, I know they'll criticize it sometimes for the celebrity. The one thing that the celebrity part is really good for, everyone write the Q score. If that Q score is high enough, you will find another nest if you get kicked out. As soon as Steve Jobs got replaced by Scully, what'd he do?
I seen y'all
When
when that
the
good.
Pixar got hot, but he made sure his name stayed in the press. So when he came back, these were my rules in my company. I'm going to run it how I want to run it. Kind of hard to do if no one knows you. Yeah. That's the part of it. Like, you need that celebrity CEO. And if you look at the index, the celebrity CEOs, okay, really quick. Who's the CEO of Intel?
Well, how about I give? So, like, let's take Bezos, right? Amazon CEO. But Jesse is now the CEO. That's kind of like just doing a job, growing business, kind of out of the limelight. Same thing with Lilly. He's kind of out of the limelight, even to a sense. To tell at Microsoft, he's done interviews. Quieter, right? So I'm just there's 2 distinctive type of CEOs. I'm just
appreciate it,
right? Because I could see as Jensen, he's becoming a superstar. He's
becoming a star,
a household name. The leather jacket, the signing the movies.
Bro,
like,
see, that's the part that, like, once he did that, and he went WWF Shawn Michaels, I said, boy, you done went too far. And we'd all been there.
The movie sign.
I prefer my CEO to not be signing nobody titties at a convention.
Well, most of the largest companies in American history have always had a superstar CEO.
Absolutely.
Especially in the last 20 years. If you look at Microsoft, they had Bill Gates. If you look at Apple, they had Tim Cook. They had
Steve Jobs.
Steve Jobs. If you look at Tesla, they had Elon Musk. If you look at Amazon, they have Jeff Bezos.
Michael Dell from Dell Computers.
The only one, maybe Google. The CEOs aren't as well, and they haven't really, put themselves out there as other former people that I just named. But most of the top 5 companies, if you look at Meta, you have Mark Zuckerberg. Most of the top 5 companies have had superstar CEOs.
Yep.
Like 90%. So it's inevitable. It's just inevitable.
But one of the things I talked about on stage at InvestFest, character of the founder or CEO. I don't think Jensen has a character issue, but I do like if my CEO is public facing, have impeccable character. You see that with Satya. You see it with Tim Cook. You've seen it with even at Google with Sergey. Like very little scandals, very little issues. So Zuckerberg